Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and in this video we're going to have a closer look at the profit retriever once more. This time around it's going to be for the trading signals, the copy link trading signals that we receive out of Expert4X. And Alex actually made a video back in early December, so this was this particular one here where he mentioned that these were some of the best robot traders, and at the same time he also shared some of the set files. And now we had a closer look at it, and we also downloaded these files that were actually available on the premium forum. We could allocate about 8 out of the 10. There was 2 which are marked up by the star here that we simply couldn't find or couldn't allocate with 100% certainty which currencies they were trading. But anyway, we traded the 8, and then on top we were mostly interested in actually the top 3, to see if they were doing something particular that we weren't doing, something that we could unlock, mysteries of the profit retriever. Obviously the profit retriever is still fairly new. It's only been released end of March 2022, so that still means that a lot of traders, a lot of copy traders are still working through all the kinks and nicks that the profit retriever has, both on the positive and negative side. But today we're just going to have a clear focus on the top 3, how exactly they made these kind of profits. So let's have a look at the list that was available back then, and we'll just swap it around so you can easier see. Now that it's a bit easier to see here, well, let's have a look at the links as they were back then when the video was made. And we can see that link 8 here had a total gain of 672%. So since it started, period of time was 72 days, and then recent equity was 77,000, and that's pretty good compared to everybody starts with $10,000. So definitely high success rate, 72. And then it was trading the Nasdaq 100 on the profit retriever robot. Monthly gain at a time was set at 280%, so extremely high, and only numbers that we have normally seen as part of the profit retriever competition that was set in motion back also in early 2022 when the robot came in. Now the next link we're going to have a look at is link 24, and also here total gains 487%, double almost the days that has been trading, so that is good and positive. 123 at the time. Recent equity more than 58,000, success rate 66, and then they're trading the Euro AUD. Also here, monthly gains over 100%, 119 at the time, so extremely high, and something that we definitely we could produce, but it was way too high risk. But we'll see how they do it here. Now link number 12 is the third one, because we are skipping link 18. It's not a profit retriever one, so we're not interested in that today. Link 12, also total gains 158%, 72 days it's been running, and recent equity 25,000, so also here very good news, success rate 68%. And then we have main symbols traded here, Aussie, Japanese, and monthly gains has been 66%. So basically what we're going to do is we have set it up on the MT4 platform. We have been trading them since the 5th of December, and we're going to have a closer look at all 3, starting off with link number 12. So on the MT4 platform with link number 12, you can also see here it's the Aussie Japanese. At the moment we have set it on the 1-hour chart, and you can see it's been trading quite lively. And if we go to the bottom here on the balance, at the moment it's 15,777, and equity is just below 15,000, so it's in a small drawdown, but as you can see it is currently recovering from that one. If we take a look from when we started the trading itself, you can see that here 5th of December is where we started off, and started off actually with a small wrong direction in here, and again another one, small little trades in between, and another one again going in the wrong direction, but it's cashing in every single time. So small little amounts of $15, $12 here, 13 there, and continues to move quite well, because obviously again sideways trading is where the profit retriever takes most of the money in. We have also a couple of in the right direction here, $120, right about there, 128. and then it actually managed to change from a buy into a sell just in time for this particular dive. And this came on here on the 20th December, a massive drop, and it basically cashed in all the way down, so extremely good to see. And then it turned direction again from the sell part that it had done before into a buy, and then it's been trading quite a few buys up the hill again, and ended up in a bigger drawdown over here, closed it off, so still with a nice profit. And since then it has again managed to get into another minor drawdown, and then it has been riding up, cashing in every single time, more than 130. So it has worked pretty well so far, and now it looks like it's gonna come out of the another drawdown at the moment, and that looks to be about $1,000 down, so that is not too bad. If we have a closer look at the settings that are being used itself here, and maybe we'll just highlight that. So if we have a look, the 1 period 4, so that is an old moving average we have in here. So that is nothing really special. Buy and sell is okay. Same direction as the MA direction, so also here very normal all the way through. Then we have the price gap size of 24. And we're not really trading this one here, so we can't really know if this is a good or bad one. So 24, it could be a good one, but definitely it is still slightly aggressive. Normal, more conservative ones would most probably be around the 40 to 60% or 40 to 60 mark. And so this, we still consider this slightly aggressive for sure. And if we have a closer look down here, we can also see the lot for initial trade is 0.8. So that is definitely quite aggressive. Most of the ones that we have for normal currencies and that we are trading, we are normally starting somewhere around the 0.2 lot size. And that's where we can benefit from somewhere around the 10 to 25%. So this is about 4 times bigger, and maybe also with a highly aggressive setting here. It is a bit on the risky side, but obviously also the profit is there. 80% reduction, so from the 0.8 we can see, and it runs all the way down to 0.1. Then it reverses the direction again and then adds on 130% each time until it gets back up to 0.8. So this is both the negative, so it writes down the negative and then goes on to the positive again. This is not something that we have set up, because a lot of tests that we have done, we seem to blow the account on the testing every single time. So we are simply just going with the reverse one and not again on the positive one. Small little closure amount here, and that is pretty much it. So nothing out of the ordinary for this, apart from some aggressive lot sizing, and we can go and have a closer look to see what it looks on the FX Blue side. On the FX Blue side, it looks like this. The balance of the 15,777 here, and equity just below 15,000, so that seems to match up quite well. We can see also the currency here, Aussie, Japanese. And what we're interested here in the stats, total return 46% since we started trading this early December. Monthly returns, which FX Blue has calculated for us here, is about 49%, and you'll see that goes very well in hand with what has previously been done. Also calculated on a weekly basis, it's about 10. Now still we are trading this over Christmas, so the holidays is normally not a time to get the biggest results, but this one seems to have done quite well no matter what. And if we go and have a quick look at the stats here also of the few details that we have in here so far, we'll see the same ones, 10% again, monthly returns 49, and history is 33 days. We have a look at the chart, and that looks pretty okay. It looks a bit on the steep side, but that's again because not too many trades has been taken so far. And if we go to the weekly results, we can see the first week didn't do too much profit, 171, 275 on the second. And then that's where we had the dive. So on the graph itself, you saw it made 3,778, so an extremely good week, despite that being the holidays. It managed to get maximum gains out of this. And then the last one here is the first week of January, 1,552, which is extremely well also for this time. Monthly gains, there's not much more to see other than December was a really good month with more than $4,000, and this month looks to be fairly good also with $1,500. So definitely it looks to be very stable at the moment. If we go to the risk part, FX Blue doesn't like it too much, and obviously neither do we with a 4 times bigger lot size. And that will give you a bit more an indication exactly how risky this is. Size of lot 10% loss probability, there's 42% chance of that. Definitely some high numbers, but so far so good. It has managed, and nothing has crashed on this particular one yet. Now the next one we're looking for here is the Euro AUD, so Aussie dollars, and as you can see it's already out. So we traded everything very sideways, as is normally very good for the profit retriever. But on the same particular day here, also on the 19th, so we also had a big spike. So and this particular one was not a drop, this was basically an increase. And the robot went the wrong way for this. So we currently have a balance of 5 in there. And you can see we started off on the top. We started off here with a deposit of 10,000, and you can see it's been cashing in some of the 126, 153, plenty of decent results all the way through as it's been trading. So both in the wrong direction and also cashed in quite a few times on the good side. And a quick look. Let's just do, there you go. So we can see how it's been trading, recovering quite quickly also on some of these trades, taking in good positive trades, $150 here. And then again, it has gone into small drawdowns. It has managed okay and recovered quite quickly. And this is the normal standard for the profit retriever. When you have a sideways moving market, it cashes in, and you can see even there's a closure of 250. So quite large amounts that it has done until it hits this particular point. And again, it goes in the wrong direction, puts in sells, and basically the price just goes up and we're kicked out up here. So it'll be interesting just to see exactly how the settings are. And again, we have a closer look at the settings itself. And MA is 4, so nothing out of the ordinary. That's pretty much standard. Buy and sell trades are allowed, we can see that. And then it's reverse of the MA direction. So whenever it tells you a buy, then it'll set in a sell. And then we have the price gap here for 26. Now we also have this one on our portfolio, and 26 is not a grid size that we're using. We are closer to the 50 mark. So definitely the grid size is twice as tight as we have it here. But let's see the other numbers below. We can see the lot size for the initial trade is all the way up to 1. And again, that is an extremely aggressive strategy, which is about 5 times higher than ours. Plus, if you take into consideration also the grid itself, then you're basically coming out with 10 times bigger risk than what we have on our accounts. So definitely something that won't be able to be sustainable for very long. We can see here also the rate, it goes down by 90%, which is fine. It goes all the way down to 0.04, and then it goes up again, and it ends up at the same lot size at 1. Now closure level is here, and we can see closure amount is 60, and that is pretty much what we have here. But one of the things when we have a closer look at it is going into the individual details here. We can see that, let's go up to the bottom or we catch basically the last part, and this is this one where we set in the cells. You can see it starts off with one lot, and then it is reducing all the way down, and it doesn't even reach the bottom where it's supposed to be, so it doesn't even reach 0.04. It's actually out already at 0.22, and that again just shows you that it hasn't really been set up for a $10,000 account. So because it never even managed to go down there before it goes back up again. If it would have a massive drawdown, and most probably you'll need an account more in the liking of 20 or 30,000. You can see just the one was set in the beginning, 2,800 in minus, and the 0.9 here is at 2,400. So an extremely aggressive strategy, again, that can only work for a short period of time. And that particular signal is still alive, which is obviously good, but it has something to do with, again, of when you actually start with the profit retriever, because once you have started, it will continue to trade all the way through. So it has a big influence. We have shown that on some of the videos before, and sometimes you are really, really lucky that it goes the right way. If you started a day or two later, then it could blow your account. So it's very important to try and trade the settings on 5 or 6 different random times. That could be from 1st of February, 1st of March, 1st of April, and so on, for 5 or 6 different times, so that you get a good result. And if they are stable all the way through, then definitely you can avoid some of these things here. This is not something that we want to trade, because you can see how easy it is to blow. It can't simply follow the trade itself. It will already be out of money long before you can see the full strategy that this particular trader wanted to implement with this. But let's have a look at the third one here, and see how well that one did. Now the third one here is link 8, and link 8 is basically the top, the one that has produced several 100%, and definitely we can see why, and then again we can see why this is not sustainable over long periods of time. This is the amount of trading that we actually managed to get in. Again, we started off, here it says on the 4th of December, we had a small drawdown, and then it had a few trades, and you can see the trades that are going against it ends up somewhere around the $30 or $40 mark, and the positive ones is massive, more than 1,000 euros every single time. So obviously that is why you have a huge increase, so in your percentage when it goes well. Obviously here it didn't go so well, it didn't make many trades here at all, and very, very quickly, only a few steps down, and we were already out. So again, very disappointing. So there is about $4 left on this particular account, and these are all the trades that are in here, so not much. And if we again take a look at what exactly comes out, let's see the settings itself for it. We have the MA period up here. Again, it says 4, so using a pretty conventional one. Buy and sell allowed, and also here it says reverse MA direction, so which is quite fine. Then the gap size is 160. Now we also trade this particular one, and our gap size is a bit more than double of that, so in the 350 mark. And again, so a bit of an aggressive strategy, so but not so aggressive. Start level you have in here for when the decrease will take place after 4 times, and you can see the lot size for the initial trade is, I will call that massive. We are trading with 0.01. Here it is 7 times bigger, and if you also at the same time have a grid size that is half the size, then again you have more than 10 times the higher risk than what you have, for example, on our signals. And this particular one, I believe from our signal, we are producing about 15% per month, which is more where we should be. This one here, with the 10 to 15% higher chance of success, it will definitely produce that profit, which will match the 200%. but there's a huge chance of it crashing too. If we have a closer look on how it works, we can see that the change buy rate is 80%, and then it goes down to 0.01 where basically we are trading, and it goes up by 130%, and it goes all the way back up to 0.08. Now once more you can see closure amount is there, so that is fine. But again, we never really managed to go anywhere. You can see how fast things are gone. If you have a $10,000 account, you have this particular trade where it started off with a buy. It goes to 5, 4, 0.03, 0.02, 0.02. So it doesn't even get to the bottom before it starts reversing. And we have 6 trades overall. And that is basically enough to kill you when you are running this robot. So definitely not a signal either. So that is meant for a $10,000 account. You definitely need somewhere closer to 40 or 50,000 if you're gonna trade this one safely. So but as we have seen also in some of the competitions in the past, sometimes traders can get away with these high numbers. Okay, so let's go over the numbers here. So for link number 8, monthly gains was 280% back when we started off. It had traded for 72 days. The main symbol was the Nasdaq 100. Link 24, monthly gains 119%, 123 days, and trading the Euro AUD. And then we also have the link number 12, 66% and 72 days also here, so about 2 months, and trading the Aussie Japanese. Now obviously we now tested where they are today, and we see some changes. So link 8 used to be 280%. Now we can see it has dropped down to 208, and there's a reason for that, not just the Christmas holidays here, and we're going to have a closer look at why that is. Days itself, there's about 20 days in here. I'm not exactly sure why these are not matching up with the about 30 days, but anyway, they were double checked, but they have been trading, so all of them haven't stopped as far as I know. But we, on our test, basically blew, so, and we could very quickly see why that was. Simply too high risk, both on the grid sizing itself, which was half of what we would use, and then about 7 times higher, so on the lot size itself. Link 24, also here it has been a massive drop. So for the month since we tested this one out, 119 it was on the coupling trading. Now it's dropped to 98%, and the days was 123 at the time, and now it's 167. Main symbol was Euro AUD, and also here we blew the account for the set files we had in place. So obviously again not stable over time. Link number 12, so monthly gains, and here we see only a small difference in it itself, so 66%. And this particular month the gain was slightly low, and that can be explained with the Christmas holidays. The other 2 signals have definitely had too high of a drop, and we're going to have a look at that. Days, 72 when we started, 115 here when we just did the test, and main symbol Aussie Japanese. And so far the test has shown that we just put in about 5,000 because equity is a bit below the 15,000 mark, but the profit itself and the balance is above. So roughly about 5,000 on that particular time. So we have jumped over to Expert4X's copy link trading page, and you can see all the links that are currently in here, about 46 of them. You can see the percentage goes all the way down here to about 4%. And then we have our top contenders up here, 208 on the monthly gain. And you have the next one here. And link number 12 is here. So they are still very much in the top part. But we are interested in seeing how they're trading now compared to the set files that we had at the given time. And basically what we do here is we click and we can see the FX Blue links ever since they started trading. We can see the balance up here, the equity at the moment. So it's in a bit of a drawdown of about 8,500. And again, if you are trading with a $10,000 account having a floating drawdown of 8,500, you are basically dead. So again, it's not really trading, like it's only $10,000. Total return 650%. Monthly return is now down, so the monthly return looks to be 96%, and the weekly return is 17. So it's diminishing, and there's a reason for that. Trade win 72.4, which is very good for the profit retriever. And we can also see the days itself is 92 days, so starting to be a bit of data for 3 months. If we have a look at the orders itself, we can see in here, so this is the NASDAQ, and this is also how we traded the things at the time. It's at 0.7, and you can see what is currently open here. So and it tells us here 8,740, and it has 6 trades currently open. So another one, and this is where we got kicked out. It also had similar trades like this in that area. But let's have a look and see exactly where they came from. And if we start off, you can see the deposit and where the account was actually set up. So this was back in September the 14th. It started off actually with a lot size of 0.12. So again, now it's 0.07. So definitely a lot higher, and that's also quite lucky. They had some decent wins here of several thousand euros. So got quite excited over this, I assume. But then we can see there's not too many pages in here that it has diminished. So 0.09 at that particular time. And again, the last one it has here, it's basically 0.09, and then from here on, this is 0.09, there's another 9, and up until, there you go, there's another one. So we have to go to the last page, and this is where we have some of the last ones. Yeah, that's the one. End of November, again, the trader once again turned down the lot size itself from 0.12 in the beginning, so further down to 0.09, and then after that it is now 0.07, so obviously relaxing a bit, so some of the trading parts itself, and that also means that the signal is completely different now than what it used to be. If we have a look quickly at the stats itself, and weekly is normally giving a very good indication of what's happening. You can see that the best month he had was basically the second week. The second week was started off, so this was back in September, so the month of September, and basically made 7,000, a bad week of 3,600, and some very, very high numbers. And then as the lot size now are decreasing, you can also see here that coming down, and the earnings are diminished quite a bit. So especially compared to some of the highest ones, they are now reduced by a couple of 100%, and starting to look like he's getting it, but still these are definitely way too big numbers. So if you want to trade on a 10,000 account, so if you are trading with the copy link service, definitely you need to dial it down to make sure that you don't blow your accounts. So because all they basically have done is basically turn up the lot sizing and the grid size and nothing else. There's no clever strategy behind it, and that's what we wanted to test. So all in all, they've been very lucky with this signal so far, but you can have some massive drawdowns still with the lot size that you have now. Let's go and have a look at the next one, which is link 24. And link 24 here also provides, again, good information. So $64,650 in the balance. Slight down on the floating profit, 360, so definitely not much. Total return 542%. Monthly return is also down now by 38% only, so definitely lower. Weekly returns 8%. And let's go and have a look at the orders they have in here. can see the Euro AUD is now trading at 0.4. So now we are getting closer to something that actually looks like what we are doing. It's still double. We actually started with 0.4 also for many of the different currencies. So not for metal and indexes, but definitely for the different Forex. And found actually that 0.4 was still a bit too high. The drawdowns was not compatible with 10,000. But let's have a look and see for the closed orders and see where they started off also. Again, $10,000 account, and they started off with 0.26 of a lot size, so definitely heavy, and even changed it here also to 1.4, and that's why you're getting those massive results in the beginning. And luckily enough, if they don't blow the account, then at least you have some very good numbers to look at. But this is where Expert4X is coming in and now analyzing the results actually when they are joining the forum itself, and not just from the previous ones, because the first couple of weeks they are not being taken in anyway, 3 or 4 weeks, and from there on you can have your account accepted, all depending on how well it's doing. If we now go to it here, we can see the last page of the FX Blue. We are now down to 0.4, which is a bit more of a reasonable amount. We can see if we just go a bit back, we are still actually quite high. So this is back just when we tested it. So around end of November, beginning of December, that lot size was 0.9. And since then it was, there's one with 0.1 here also. And after that, it looks again 0.9, there was 0.1, yeah, okay. And then after that, it has been reduced. So just before Christmas, as it looks like here, or around Christmas time, it's basically been dropped down to 0.4 instead, which is starting to be like the rest of the trading signals that are out there. The last one is link 12. Let's have a quick look at that one also and see exactly what that does. This is the one more stable, still looks very much similar to what we had when we started. You can see the total return is 220%, monthly return 33%, so much more where basically most people are. It used to be 66%, so definitely also come down quite a bit. Trade wins 67.7, so again very much where you're supposed to be. If we have a look at the orders at the moment, there's only one open, so nothing major. And if we go and have a look at the closed orders, basically where we started off, you can also see here that started off with a 0.8, so to start off with, and basically been running that up until, let's see, I believe this was also changed somewhere around Christmas. 0.4, I see 0.4 here again, and there you go. So this was just changed before Christmas. The last time it said it here was the 20th of December, and since then that has come down. It also ended up in a big drawdown here again, so most probably gave a little scare, and since then it's been sticking with the 0.4 again, starting to look a bit more reasonable and like the rest of the traders in here. If we have a look at the weekly profits, we can see how that looks from the beginning of back in September. 1500, 1400, a couple of thousand, and very good profits overall. And ever since then the lot size has been slowly but surely reduced. It has come down, and but it made a very good week here. So just between Christmas and New Year's it did quite well, but definitely the results have diminished quite rapidly also on these particular ones. So there you have our analysis. So for the top 3, basically nothing special that is being done to it other than higher risk basically, and also higher profits. And if you are that kind of person, then definitely go ahead with it. but we don't recommend trading so with accounts of only $10,000. They definitely need a lot closer to 20, 30 or even 50,000 for some of them. Now Alex from Expert4X, he is definitely one to always look out for and listen to what he's got to say. And recently here he has sent out this particular video you see on the screen here also. Are you a Forex trader? Are you a gambler? Or are you an investor? And again, he put some numbers on the different percentages that people are expecting. We can also see that a lot of people, they're happy with making 5% in the beginning, but then when they can see a couple of traders are making 100, 200%, it seems like they become very greedy. And then after that, basically the accounts are blowing and people are getting very upset. So the profit retriever is definitely still a very, very good tool. So it is one of the most stable EAs, or it is the most stable EA that I ever worked with. So I'm extremely happy with it. But you have to work on it, on individual accounts and on portfolios. Preferably minimum 5 to 10 or even more if you can afford to do that. Put them on cent accounts if that is a better way of going. But try maybe and not aim for the absolutely top ones, but the more stable ones. So one of the things that is always good to have a look at is the drawdowns itself more than the profits, because if you don't have many drawdowns, you will get your sleep, and overall the accounts will still make money. You can see even 46 accounts, the lowest one you have is 5%, and then it goes up from there. Now Alex is saying also Forex traders, normally we as a Forex trader expect somewhere around 10 to 25%. That's where we're trying to set up our robots. Sometimes they make a bit less, sometimes they actually make up to 50% in a good month, but it's certainly not something we try to calculate with. We try to set the lot size and the grid size so that we can sleep at night, and that is in the area of 10 to 25%. So as a max, gambling, anything above 25% we believe starts to be gambling. Especially when you get to 50, then it gets way too risky for the profit retriever itself. Investors, yes, most probably, most people are happy with the 5% per year, but now that they see all the signals in here and what is actually possible, definitely you want to try and do a bit more, but make sure that you, again, spread it out in a portfolio, so a couple of high risk, some low risk, and most probably put the rest in the middle of it. Now, just before we did this particular video, Alex actually sent out a new video again here saying safer, better, profitable link accounts. And actually it goes very well with what we just showed here. We can see the top accounts has actually down the lot size and also changed a couple of the risk percentages. Now that also means that if you go in and have a look at the numbers, make sure you go to the FX Blue site to see what they're actually producing at the moment, because those high numbers looks to be over now, that most of the traders are stabilizing. They're figuring out that this is not sustainable over time, and hopefully also the coupling traders will have found out roughly where is the area where they can have a decent profit and still also sleep at night. And it's entirely up to you and how you manage your risk. We hope this video was very informative for you, and definitely we hope it gave you a bigger insights as to the profit retriever, why some is actually still making good money. You're trying the same set files and you're blowing your accounts. So it is unfortunately a bit of the thing with the profit retriever, that you can start it 5 different times and you can have 5 different results. That is the name of the game, and you have to put that in your risk calculation also. So if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up, a like, and I will obviously also like to hear back from you if you are one of the traders. If you have the links, definitely we would like to hear what you thought of our analysis and why you have also made some of the changes you have to the accounts over the last month or so. So thank you for this time, and I'll see you hopefully on the next video. Bye-bye.